Hi, guys. Hello, 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 hello. Today is Sunday. Good afternoon. Today is Sunday, December. Today is December 29th, 2024. This is the, excuse me, this is the last Sunday of the year. This is the last Sunday of the year. Welcome to the live. It's Sunday afternoon here in Delaware. Wherever you're watching from, I welcome you to this live. If you're not able to catch the live, maybe you're in church or you have other commitments, YouTube will save this video and you can watch it later on. So I did a video about the American dream. I'm looking for the American dream. I've been here for a long time. My name is Lucy. For those who have not seen me on YouTube, I am fairly new on YouTube, and a lot of you like discovering my channel for the first time. So if this is your first time on my YouTube channel, I welcome you to the channel. Mostly, I talk about immigration. I talk about how to come to the US. I also talk about life in the US. I am a single mom. I am a nurse by profession. I am Kenyan, and I am also American. So with that comes a lot of like conflicts. Especially because of the cultures, conflicted cultures, having one foot on this side of the Kenyan side, the African side, and having the other foot on the American side. And sometimes there's a clash of culture. And most of the times I feel conflicted because I want to make the right decisions for myself and for my family. But when I posted that video about searching for the American dream, I did not expect the response. A lot of people were telling me that, yes, this is a common thing. I'm not the only one going through the struggles, the challenges, and all that. And there are a lot of comments. There are a lot of comments on that video. I want to do this video specifically to appreciate everybody who has taken the time to reach out. People who reached out to me to comment, to give me their perspective about where they are in the diaspora. Some people are in the Gulf, some people are here in the US, others are in the UK and other places in Europe. And the ones that are in Africa that have already had their share of the American dream and left and went back to their home countries and have a life there. I appreciate you coming to the comment section and letting us know how that happened and how you went about doing that. So for everybody who's just joining in, welcome to the live. I'm going to be here today because I'm not able to thank everybody individually. And I know I send you messages and I comment on every comment. But for you to take time, for somebody to watch your video, the whole video, and go an extra step to leave a comment, and not just a comment saying thank you for this, which is great, but for somebody to sit down and write a whole book, a whole paragraph about the topic that you're discussing. That is very empowering for a new YouTuber or for somebody who's trying to put out content. I don't think there's any greater validation, and not that we are looking for validation, but it puts a stamp to the point that you're trying to drive. And it makes you feel like, no, you're not crazy, because you're not the only one going through that. So my question, my struggle was, where is the American dream? That's what I was looking for. I've been here for many years. The perception in my head was, by now I would be untouchable. And maybe that's like overreaching. But as far as like financial goals, as far as like settling down, as far as family, as far as, because I'm in this land of opportunity, that my success would have been endless. Like there's no limit. And I still believe that. But I think my question and my frustration was, when do we get that? And what is it? What is the American dream, right? So a lot of people came to the comments and they said, you know what? The American dream is what you make out of it. America is a great country full of opportunity. So it's up to you to make whatever you want to make out of it. So you're presented with the opportunity, you're presented with the resources. So it's up to us here to make the best out of the resources that we have. So I appreciate your comments, everyone who put in the comments, and I'll go over a few because there are very many comments, but there are some that really stood out. And I would like to read some of them and maybe talk a little bit about some of those comments. So one comment said, the so-called American dream is a scammer and a nightmare. People only exist, but not living their full potential. They're not living their full potential. America is not a bad country, but the way the system is set up, you have to continue working hard and paying all those bills and debts. I remembered within 1 year, my husband and I paid off all our debts. The next year, we were bound in debts again. If you have children here, most of the time, those children are raising themselves because dad and mom have to continue working hard to keep a roof over their head and put food on the table. And that's a sentiment that was expressed by a lot of other people, that we are working and working and working. You know, the way in Africa, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, in Africa, like, for example, my mom was a housewife. She stayed home. She was a farmer. And my dad was in the army. So military, I don't know, GSU, UCO. And then he ended up being in traffic police inspector. But what I'm saying is the man would go out, and maybe things have changed now. The man would go out and provide, outsource, look for employment or be out there looking for work and money. And the women will be home catering for the children and farming and all that. And that's how we were raised. But here, most houses, most homes, you cannot manage without two incomes. Either two incomes from your spouse and yourself, or two incomes from your having multiple sources of income if you're the only one. So I get what you mean by this comment. It's such a struggle. And people are going to say, is the same everywhere. Okay, I agree. But let's talk about Africans in the diaspora, because we don't like to talk about our struggles. We don't like to. There's another person that said, I feel your pain, my sister. Just be strong. Your kid will grow to understand. Just take care of yourself. I worked 30 years in this country and I'm yet to see that dream. So I'll create my dream by moving to Kenya, buying a home, and living my best life. So a lot of the sentiments are leaning towards, I've been here for so many years and I still don't have tangible results, tangible evidence of you being in a first world country. You know what I mean? So the next comment says, I'm an immigrant from South Africa. I identify with all your talking points. I'm grateful for many things in the US, but it is so much harder than people think. The parenting aspect is one of our hardest to navigate because of what the kids are exposed to now. So yes, how we grew up and how these kids are growing up is a whole different ball game. So as African immigrants, as Africans coming here to the US or to the diaspora, we have money struggles, we have relationship struggles, parenting struggles, we have work-life balance. That is one of our struggles again. We are looking for the American dream. We are still looking for the American dream 20 years later. And there's a comment from a Black American, and he said, I'm a Black American. I feel your struggle and keep up the good work being authentic, expressing your concerns, and I'll pray that things will get better for you. America is a paradise until you enter the rat race, but you have the right attitude to endure and get better. Much love from your Black American brother. So I found out that it's not just us Africans that are struggling with these things. It's even the people who have been here, who are born here. So when we come in, we are facing a higher level of struggle because we are new. So we're trying to adapt. But the people who've been here already are telling us things are tough. So it gets harder for us, but we keep pushing. We keep pushing. Comment from somebody else who said, I was in the USA, Minnesota state for 5 years for my undergraduate, 2007 to 2012. I moved back to Kenya one way in December 2012 after graduation, and the risk paid off career-wise, life and family. Best decision ever. I would never have got to the level I am had I stayed in the US. Life would just been bills, and working doubles. Hang in there, but start planning on making that tough decision at some point. So most people are saying just use the resources, use the US, the opportunities that the US has to give, make your money and have your dream life back home. There's a comment from one of my followers in Nigeria say, I'm in Nigeria and I've been working hard for over 20 plus years. I still have not found the American dream. The system is not designed to keep families together. I'm beginning to look back to what brought me here from Nigeria. My solution is to come up with an exit plan. Please downsize to reduce your monthly expenses. Start building your dream African life with planning. As an adult, I understood the discipline that my parents instilled in me. Now I'm grateful for that home training. So that's most of the people, that's what they are saying, that the American dream, you have to make it. You have to create it yourself. From another Black American male who says, he's nearing retirement. I am not the 1%, but I grew up with an American mother who was from an era where Blacks in this country had values more similar to those Blacks in Africa today. And he's saying more of how you described that you were raised. I agree with how I hear you and other Africans tell me that they were raised and want to raise their children. In fact, I admire you and your values. I wish your children would hear you and realize that the values you teach them are like pure gold. I believe in today's Black American children. I believe that if today's Black American children had the upbringing you offer, they would be much better off. Do not give up, you beautiful queen. Thank you. Thank you for that. And like I said in the beginning, we're not looking for validation, because we chose to bring the kids into this life. But what we are going through, we will talk about it, because at some point you're like, I thought I was doing the right thing. And I think that's the frustration that comes from most of the comments from the parents. When we are raising the kids here in the US, we think we are doing the right thing in our head, because we know that that's how we were raised and we turned out okay. So we want the best for our kids. And I was talking to my daughter and I was telling her, the basic goal for any parent is for the children to be better off in life than their parent. That's the fundamental goal for any parent. To be better, the children to be better off, even if it's one step better than their parents. And for us, it means sending the kids to good schools, making sure the kids are provided for, making sure they don't lack anything, instilling discipline, respect, But we had the sense of community as well, and we did not have the digital media exposure. The digital stage was not here at that time. So now we are facing those challenges of, yes, we are raising our kids this particular way, but social media is raising them a different way. And there's that conflict. There's another comment that's saying, thanks for being so transparent. Not many people tell the truth about how hard it is. It's tough. Little support, family, culture, balance, money. It's overwhelming, just staying afloat. Loneliness and depression are real. Maybe that's why they call it a dream. What helped me was listing everything I need to do, then taking some off. I also spend more time with family and friends, praying and surrender to God's will. Less money, but more peace and rest. I've had several people give me a recommendation to read a particular book that says you should not worry about what people say, and that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to put yourself first, because sometimes your mental health is more important than anything else. So we have to take care of ourselves. All right. A comment from London. Say, Lucy, this has hit home. I'm in London. I relate. What gets me through is hiking, early morning walks. As a single parent, what haven't I done for my children? We parents are doing the best that we can. As we age, we need to prioritize ourselves. This side of the world can be so cruel, especially in old age. Mental health isn't a joke. At a point where I know I have given my all, I still do my best where I can. That parent's guilt of not having done whatever, please, no. We need to evaluate, see how we can do better while not exhausting ourselves, because if we do this invites stroke, depression, high blood pressure, etc. Above all, keep praying. It really gets better. I've been a single parent for 6 years now. Thank you, Lucy, for your truth and being so real, and Merry Christmas. Thank you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year from London. Thank you guys for the comments. Today, I'm just trying to go over the comments to appreciate you guys so that you don't feel like you've been abandoned. I want to personally come in and go over these comments so that other people can see that I'm not the only one that is struggling with these things. Other people chip in and they also are going through similar things. Somebody said, so true, I feel you. I left Germany thinking that US was going to be better. When I got to America, I was shocked to see how people work in loneliness and with the kids in daycare. I will never encourage an African in Europe to move in America. So those are people who are in Europe, and they're doing a comparison between Europe and America. And most of them are saying that America is a little bit tougher than other European countries where they've been. So this comment says, thank you for this video. I came here when I was very young, now a single woman living alone. No kids, not yet married. This is how I feel every day. It's like a rat race and a cycle. Work, sleep, and pay a bunch of bills. You barely even see your own family. It is especially very expensive in California for a single person. You can't even save or have extra money. It is really tough, and home buying feels impossible. Homes are upwards of $1 million in my area. It just feels hopeless and a waste of time. Also, it's like they force people to have to get with someone to share the bills instead of getting together out of genuine connection. I cannot even imagine having daycare costs. Life is really hard out here, but people back home are envious and think people just have all this money to send, but don't want to. Also, I have nieces and nephews, and they were born here. It is really hard to raise a child to have good traditional African values and respect and be hardworking here. So that's a comment from somebody in California. So daycare, man, daycare is expensive. Daycare is no joke. I was looking at the daycare prices yesterday. I was comparing daycare costs in Delaware, and it's up. Some of them are like $400 a week. How are you gonna make it in life? $400 a week. When I was a CNA, it was $175 a week. My daughter was an infant, was young then. So we're paying $175 a week. Oh my God, that was a lot for me. That was a lot. And then so before that, when she was like really small, I was paying a nanny. So I was paying somebody, a lady who was here temporarily, older lady who was visiting her daughter. So she was gracious enough to watch my daughter for me. At that time, I was in school. I was in LPN school. So I was like weighing my options. I had been called for, I was a CNA, but I was in the nursing program LPN. And I was driving out of state to go to school. So when I had my daughter, it like was a coincidence. Coincidentally, was the same time that they were accepting people into the nursing program, and it was a very competitive program. So when they picked me, I was like, okay, so now do I stay home and raise my child, or do I take this opportunity and take this position to go into the nursing program so I can graduate as a LPN, so I can at least raise my quality of life economically, right? So I went back and forth, back and forth. Should I go to school or should I raise my baby? She was like 2 months old when I got accepted to the program. And I fought with that in my head. And finally, this lady said, I asked her if it's okay. She was like my next door neighbor. And she said she would watch the baby for me while I go to school. And I was paying her weekly. I don't remember how much I was paying. I explained my situation. I'm like, I don't have a lot of money. I'm in school and I really need to do this. So please just watch her for me. And so I think it was $50 a week or something. That's all I could afford at that time. So I paid her that, and she watched my baby when I was going to school. So here is like, do you pay for daycare, which is like upwards of $400 a week, or do you stay home? So if you stay home, where are you going to get money from? Or are you married so one person can go to work, and is that money even enough? Or do you start a business, or do you start more side hustles? So the one person is staying home with the kid and the other person is going to work. Either way, it's expensive if you do daycare, and then you'll miss out on your kids. Or you're going to stay home and raise the kids, and then your partner will be burnt out because he's pulling all the weight financially. I don't know. Somebody said, if you're looking for money, work in America. But if you make some good money, Africa is the place. Do you guys agree? There's another American who said, I saw your video and I just wanted, Cynthia, I saw your video and I just wanted you to know I'm African American living in America, and it's a struggle for everyone here, not just you. It may seem like it's only you, but I believe a lot of Americans, Black Americans, African Americans are feeling the same frustration. I feel you. I want nothing but the best for you, and I'll continue to try to encourage you as much as possible, and as you continue to encourage me. The struggle is real. For real. This struggle is absolutely real. Somebody said, thank you for your honesty and vulnerability, and I wish you peace as you come to terms with what you are going through in life and with your kids. I have found that we tend to hold on with so much nostalgia to how we were raised, as we felt the sense of community and support from those around us. But things felt simpler, and we tried so desperately to raise our kids here to feel the same. But I found that the world we grew up in no longer exists or is quickly disappearing, because even back home, the simple life is seen as less than, and majority people are chasing their tails, aspiring to a higher standard of living. So give yourself some grace and continue doing the best you can. You seem like a good mom and a person. Take care and Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your comments, man. Thank you for your comments. There are so many comments. I think on this video, I had like over 600 comments. And I was like, if I go, because every comment feels like like I can talk about that particular comment and expound on it, because I feel like I'm feeling it. I have some experience with whatever everybody is talking about, a little bit at least. And so because I'm not able to create a video for each one of you that send me a comment, I'm doing this live today to read some of your comments and to just say thank you. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for going to my email and asking me if I'm okay. And I am okay. Actually, I just came from church. I'm still church shopping, guys. I'm still church shopping. So I just came from church and I figured I'll do this live quickly. All right, let's see who else is saying what. Faith says, love and hugs back from back home in Nairobi. I appreciate your honesty about what you're going through. Hang in there, don't give up. Struggles of life affect us regardless of where in the world one lives. Be strong, be strong. If you ever feel the need to come back home, karibu nyumbani. So thank you. The advantage that we have as Kenyans is because we can have dual citizenship. And a lot of Americans are saying they wish they had a place where they can go back home to. So we do have that advantage, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that, especially when we feel like we are mentally burnt out here. A lot of people are saying, just go home and rest for a little bit and then come back and, reset. And somebody, Ephraim from Kentucky, Lucy, don't give up. I'm down here in Kentucky, and what you're struggling with, I struggle with daily. But we are Kenyans. We don't give up. Our resilience and faith in God keeps us going. There is a time I checked. There's a time I checked my finances and I shed tears. Where? It's not easy, but we shall make it. The American dream is still valid. Keep strong. Hey, don't tell me about the paycheck. Sometimes you look at that because we don't get like a paycheck. We do what they call what is it called? Direct deposit. So it's direct deposit. So and then you get a notification on your phone that your direct deposit is now available or whatever. And you look at it and you're looking at your bills, you're like, this is not going to cover nothing. And she said she felt like she was gonna shed tears. Man. Here's a comment. It says, I just watched your video and I can relate to most of what you're going through. I've been in America for over 20 years and I'm in a stable professional career after struggling the first few years after arriving here. I also am a single mom for a 15-year-old. I've been raising her alone for 7 years and a half. And half of that time I've been dealing with long COVID. Long COVID made parenting very hard since I couldn't be as involved in her life as before. Her dad was also sick at the same time and recently passed away. Oh my God, I'm sorry about that. Sorry to hear that. Being a Kenyan, I desire to see her adhere to a strict upbringing the same way I did, but I find that I'm constantly competing with many forces outside my control, especially popular culture and friends. She tells me that if she doesn't keep up with what's going on, her friends will find her odd and exclude her from their groups. I have misgivings about her choice of friends. Even the friends from church seem very worldly. At this point, I'm just leaning on God for wisdom. We gave her a good Christian foundation, and I always ask God to please keep her from falling. This week has been rough. I had the flu, but I'm still responsible for everything, including taking her to school when I can barely stand for 2 minutes. God will sustain us, and that's my prayer. Guy, I'm so sorry, man. Mercy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that, especially when you're single. When you're a single parent, you are everything. You're everything for this kid. If they're not able to drive, you still have to take them to school, to their extracurricular activities, or you call a friend to help you. And I'm like, wow. Because you still want your kids to prosper. Like you're not allowed to, you don't have sick days as a parent. You don't have time off as a parent. You still gotta do what you gotta do. You still got to do what you got to do. PN says, loneliness is one of the major problems. People keep to themselves. Others avoid you because you're different from them, not necessarily racist. And the friendly ones, there's the cultural crush. But now I intentionally try to reach out to people and friends, even if we are not very close. Yeah, isolation here is real. Uku, you can be so isolated. If you're single, maybe, and your kids are older, they're out of the house, if you can go for days without talking to anybody. You can go for days without talking to anybody. Somebody says, Millie says, I've watched this video twice since. Sis, do not allow these kids to drive you crazy. I had 4 of my kids here. I hope I could talk to you one-on-one. Stay strong. Thank you, Millie. I gave you my email. It's lucymwangi@gmail.com if you want to connect with me. Thank you for that. Somebody says, born and raised in the US, but honestly, I relate to you. Everything is such a struggle, and I just want to run away sometimes. Thanks for sharing. We have to stay strong, but it's good to share and talk about it. So I know a lot of people are like, Lucy, I can't believe you're talking about your problems. Yeah, I'm talking about my problems because there are too many. I mean, and they keep increasing instead of decreasing. Kenya, I think there was a time tulikuwa tunasema pressure ina decrease ama ina increase. So I feel like my pressure is just increasing, and I use this as an outlet so that I can also share, and also other people can put in their input. Somebody said, Lucy, when life gives you 100 reasons to break down and cry, show life that you have 1,000,000 reasons to smile and laugh. Yes. Yes, yes. Somebody says, I hear you. I'm glad you're getting support through therapy. I never had anxiety until I became a mom here in the US. Things hit you from left and right, and it's not easy. Yeah, now I can laugh. There was a time I was just looking at my life and I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't making sense. But now I can laugh. I feel like talking about it is helping. I feel like people reaching out and discussing these things, issues that are affecting us. I feel like that helps. That helps a lot. That helps a lot. Winnie says, sending love your way. Keep focused on doing your best for you and the kids. It's a journey that only you can win, as hard as it is. The good thing is that life isn't static. The kids will grow up and you'll get a breather. Run your own race. Your dreams will come true when the time is ripe. Get the professional help you need and keep looking ahead. Get professional support for the kids as well. Early intervention is key. Above all, pray and keep the faith that it is and it will be well. Your story resonates with very, very many. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. It's true. When my mom was scolding us and raising us and telling us what to do and telling me not to date the people in the village and all that because I was still in school and talking all these things in my head as a teenager at that time, I was like, she's wasting her time. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. But I didn't do that because I would hear the voice, my mom's voice in my head. And every time I try to do something sneaky. and I think that's that's what brings you with you as you get older. And we try to instill those things in our kids, but we were in a different place at that time. We were in a different setting and life has changed, but we still keep encouraging our kids and still being present and being there for them. Lydia said, my advice with parenting is that if you did the best you can, that is all that matters. And the American way of parenting keeps changing every decade. So their culture is ever confusing compared to the African or Asian culture. Don't beat yourself up. Instead, forgive yourself, and there's nothing that God can fix. So pray without ceasing. Thank you for that. Mina said, thank you for sharing. Also, an immigrant, came here in my early 20s. I was naive and ambitious. Now I have 3 children and I'm contemplating relocating back to Africa because I don't want this anymore. Faith says, I really sympathize with their situation. I see young people excited with the American dream, but I keep seeing a race that has no time of taking rest, a rat race. I'm thankful that I can raise my kids here in Africa. The desire to be in one place keeps dying as I keep, the desire to be in other places keeps dying as I keep aging. It's funny because the people who are out there want to be here, and the people who are here want to be back home. I don't know, man. I don't know. Mami K says, just a year in Canada, I have gone through all sorts of emotions working as a caregiver, having family here, but still feeling lonely. I will definitely disappoint family, but I'm returning home with nothing. My mental and physical health is deteriorating. Every day I wake up startling, as if I was dreaming living here. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I know because before I did that video and before I started my therapy sessions, I would wake up in the middle of the night with heart palpitations. Yani kichwa imejaa vitu, your head is full of so much, and I felt like my head does not have the capacity to accommodate anything else. And I would wake up in sweat, and some people are saying, oh, maybe it's menopause. But which menopause makes your heart beat so fast to a point where you wake up like shook, you wake up scared, you wake up like breathing so hard? I don't know if that's menopause or not, but I knew I had to change something in my life. I knew I had to change something in my life. Somebody said, being 50 years old, retired in Kenya, I applied for green card unsuccessfully 10 times. I told someone in the States I wanted to move there. When he heard I had a business in Kenya, he gave me facts. I'm glad I never moved there. In Africa, if you're doing well, don't dare go abroad. What? That's what he says. Jean said, Lucy, you're not alone. I was born and raised here. As a man, married 4 times and 2 sets of children, all alienated against me. Feminism and I don't need a man hurts Black America. By the way, somebody, I can't find this comment here right now, but somebody said, was yelling, kind of like scolding me about why am I single? I'm not single by choice. So like, you guys think that you can be single parents, you don't need a man, and then when shit hits the roof, you start complaining about the struggles of a single mom. I'm not single by choice. So that's that. Mariti says, I came here with a 7-year-old and 10 months old baby. Few years down the road, we separated with my wife. This is late 1990s, and I have not seen those kids since then. They have grown up now, but in a different culture from the one I was brought up, brainwashed, and I'm their enemy right now. I put them on the plane with love. Everything they have achieved was because of me. What? What? Tabitha Mwangi, that's my sister. My sister says, the Lord be with you. The world these days has really changed. We are faced with challenges that no one has prepared us for. It's like we are daily caught off guard. Our children also seem to be way ahead of us. Don't feel defeated because you've already done well on parenting. I support you seeking help and also joining support groups. May Christmas wipe your tears and bring you joy. Thank you. Thank you, sis. Thank you for that. Whew. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this live, but okay. Somebody says, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through a rough time. Chasing the American dream can often feel like a nightmare for many because it seems impossible to attain. It's like trying to catch a very short tail attached to your own behind. You'll never quite be able to grasp it. And hence, that's why they call it the rat race. That's why they call it the rat race. Unajua vile panya, it's like you're chasing your tail and you're chasing it and you can't really grab it. You can't grab your tail. All right, let's move on. John Kelly says, sounds like a harsh clash when expectation meets reality. I'm really so sorry. You sound so tired, defeated even. Being a single parent is even tougher in the US. I really admire your chivalry in opening up. All will be well. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you. All right, let me see who else has a different experience. Internationally present. Ooh, I like that. Internationally present says, Lucy, I acknowledge, wait, I gotta clean my eyes so I can see. Says, Lucy, I acknowledge your courage to honestly share challenging experiences like you have. Life happens, sometimes leaving us feeling overwhelmed. It's encouraging that you have identified the supports available, for example, therapy, and that you are advocating for healthy coping. As a parent who has raised kids both in Africa and the US, I hear you. Honestly, I believe that the grass isn't greener on the other side, on either side. Parents across the world are navigating similar challenges with this age of technology and information. I hope as many immigrant parents can connect with a therapist who can empathize with their immigrant experience and who is skilled in supporting families with tools for healthy conflict resolution and for healing relationships. For those who cannot access professional therapy, I hope they can identify a safe community of parents where they can get positive support without judgment, shame, or unrealistic expectations. Thank you. That's true, by the way, because we are being faced with different things. So if you're going to find a therapist who will get you, quote unquote, get where you're coming from, because not one therapy is not good for everybody. If you get what I mean. Not one therapist for all people. Silval says, I'm a single dad from Canada and I perfectly understand your struggle. Thank you. Thank you, single dad from Canada. Judy Nakwama says, where? Hugs, dear. Just let your kids know how much you love them, regardless. Be calm and understanding and try to reason and understand why they behave or do whatever is making you so unhappy and frustrated. I used to shout at my kids, but I said I would change my parenting strategy and be a bit calm and understanding. It worked like magic, but above all, leave everything to God. Thank you. Thank you for that. Janet says, you sound exhausted. You can only give what you have. Do not be guilty of how you parented. That's the only script you had. They will do better with their own children. Facts. Lillian says, it's not easy raising kids abroad. I left my Canadian baby with my mom in Kenya, praying for you. So my mom passed away in 2000, and myself and my daughter, we were talking, was it yesterday or today? And I was like, I feel like I was robbed of my mom. You know what I mean? Do you guys feel that? Like if you lose your mom, there's no good time to lose a mom or a parent. But me personally, I grew up at 21. I had a job, 22, 23. By 25, my job helped me come to the US. By 27, I had a kid. And my mom, she died when I was, I think, 20 or 21. So you're like, okay, all these things that I've been wanting to do for my parents, it's like to give back to your mom, especially. And I wasn't able to do that. So I was pissed off with life. I was angry because I was like, there are things that you want your parents to witness. Like growing up, you want your parents to see that, okay, I know you struggled so hard, so much for me to be better, to be a better person, to live a better life. And now she's not here. So I was telling my daughter, I wish my mom was alive, because when you were born, I already had a green card and all that. I could have asked my mom to come and help me raise you, because, sorry guys, because, and these are like candid conversations, because, so I named my daughter after my mom, right? Okay. So I named my daughter after my mom. And there's so many things that as a kid you want your parents to witness. As you get older, as you start your own family, you want that support from your parents. And sometimes you have questions about parenting, and there's nobody to call, and at that time, my dad, we were not so close at that time, so I couldn't even get that kind of support from my dad about parenting, because the traditional way of things is you're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be strong. You're the parent. You're supposed to know what to do. But sometimes, even as parents, we don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Anyway, let me read a lighter comment. Somebody said, it is critical to have the right mindset to be successful in the American capitalist system, which is based on exploitation of the workforce to the maximum possible. The best way to navigate the challenges of is to have an entrepreneurial mindset and capabilities to leverage the opportunities. Otherwise, it is really a struggle that impacts your health and well-being. Forget the so-called American dream. It is a dead horse. Okay. Okay, I don't think it's that dead. I think we can make good of what we have. We have the resources, we have the opportunities, we have the education. So instead of us complaining about how difficult life is, and it's hard sometimes. But I remember somebody says every day wake up with an attitude of gratitude. Take your daily dose of vitamin G. Gratitude, like look around, what can you be grateful for, as opposed to complaining about what you don't have. So maybe changing our mindset might help a little bit. Man. Somebody said, oh, my glasses are foggy now. I can't see anything. Can't see anything. Okay. I want to read these comments so you can hear what other people are going through. So you guys can hear what other people are going through. Okay, I can't see. And I'll come back to your comments. I'll come back. There's somebody who's angry on the comment section. I don't know what the problem is. but I'll come back to that. Okay. American dream is just a dream, remember? It only happens in your sleep. To quote someone, a comedian, you have to be asleep to believe it. This place, you work and work and work and you get stuck. So I'm working hard, building and sending all my money home to get out after 23 years. I'm ready. I'm tired, and I agree with you. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody said, I have lived in America for over 50 years, but now retired and living in another country. There's one thing I heard as a newcomer to America. An elderly lady in whose house I was doing some remodeling, the old lady said to my son, who was only about 14 years, she said to my son, don't ever get old in America because it takes back everything that you ever worked for. People that statement never left my memory bank. And even when I say to people that what that elderly lady said to my son, people would always ask me to repeat it because it's true. People, you may think you own a lot, but become ill and not work for 1 year. I guarantee that you would lose everything that you thought you owned. Medical bills would reveal your true wealth. Plan an exit strategy, my people. Live minimally, plan on returning to your humble beginning in whatever country you come from. You don't need a mansion in your home country. You have no one to impress. Live simple in order to enjoy your life. I feel this lady's pain. It's a pain of the walls closing in. Stay strong and plan an exit strategy. Yep. So those are most of the comments. Most of the comments are people who are going through the same thing. And the point of this video was just to show that the struggle is real. We are struggling here in the diaspora, and not just financially, is mentally. And that's my biggest thing is we need to protect our mental status. We need to do things that are good for our mental state and talk about these things, because the culture of being ashamed because you're talking about your struggles, because you're sharing what you're going through, I think we should stop that. I think we need to be okay with people just letting their guard down and feeling that they're not going to be judged because they came on a video and said what they said. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys coming together to support me on my struggles and to be there even for people. Most people, 90% of the people don't know me. You guys, some of you discovered my video for the first time, and I appreciate this a lot. I do. So that's why I'm coming on live today to say thank you. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching my video and sharing it very, very widely. I appreciate that. Somebody said, Blue the Oracle Empress. What? You guys have names. I would have given this country 50 years of my life in 2 months. Time is up. I'm already planning to build, grow, and live in Africa, where I know we belong. Kennedy Munoz says, don't give up, even though you feel that way. Keep fighting. We may not understand your situation, but life has to move on. Always welcome here in Kenya. It's your home too. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wanja says, much love to you, Lucy. I truly feel you. Please continue with therapy. It's frustrating. It can be lonely, especially on the parenting end of things. Hang in there. Your vulnerability is super okay. Thank you. Dr. Roland says, my dear sister, I'm Nigerian American. I've been in the USA for nearly 3 decades. I do understand you, but stop looking for an illusion. That's what it is, a dream, not reality. Please begin to create yourself and plan a move back if necessary. It shall be well with us. I have subscribed. I resonate with your points. Let's talk. So you have my email address. I sent you my email address. So thank you so much for that. Doreen says, rudi home mama, hakuna life huko, only depression. Hiyo kitu kidogo umetengeneza huko is enough kurudi home na bado uomoke. Tafadhali rudi ASAP. Mathaland anakungoja. What? For those who don't understand Swahili, she's just saying if things are too bad, I should go back home. Oh. Elijah says, I feel your pain. It's really hard and nobody talks about it. I'm talking about it now because I really don't care if people talk about me in the whole of Delaware. If people are talking about me in the whole of Delaware, I really don't care, or in the whole of Bahati, where I come from. At this point, I'm at a point where I don't care because I felt like I was going to lose my mind, and I'm not going to lose my mind just because I don't want people to talk about me. I refuse to be a statistic. I am not going to be a statistic. So I'm not going to be read in the news. So I'm taking charge of my life. I'm talking about it. If I feel that this is what's going to help me jump from my bad situation to a better situation, guess what? That's what I'm doing. So KK says, I'm sending you love. I feel your pain as a single mom. It is not easy to play the role of mother and father at the same time in a country that kids are overprotected. From what I think and what I learned, the American dream depends on the connections you have and what you do for a living. If you don't have multiple sources of income, so that's wages, income, and investments and businesses, it will be difficult to live the American dream. As Africans, living in America is a lot of challenges, cultural, education system, life, etc. To raise a kid because the environment is rude and competitive. When the kid feels unsafe very early, especially when the parents are struggling to survive. Consequences, the kids will start building his own lane that doesn't reflect or match with the parents' visions. The kid will start asking himself questions. What will I eat today? Will my parents be able to buy this and that for me? Why are we not going out together for fun? Why are my parents always complaining and angry? Why are my parents not respecting what they promised me? It is important to not let your kids know your weakness. Show him or her your strength and make sure the kid have assurances and the maximum love he or she needs. My advice is give yourself a couple of years and put a certain amount aside and come back and establish yourself in a country of origin or invest in any African country that you feel comfortable. Don't send the money to any of your relatives. Come back and do everything by yourself. I wish you all the best and take care of yourself. Finally, if there is someone you can rely on, do not hesitate. If you can take someone, a sister or an auntie back home to US to help you take care of the kid, then that would be great too. Thank you. What I'm saying is people are taking their time, and this is why I'm doing this live, just to appreciate, because it's not, YouTube has so many videos. And for you guys to watch my video and sit down and write all these things to me, I really appreciate. I don't take it for granted. So today's live is to thank you guys and also to share your sentiments with other people on this channel. Albert says, hello, sister. You got to rely on the word of God. This world is about to pass. I'm a father living in France, but from the West Indies, and I can feel what you're talking about because I feel the same. Think it's time we African people must go back to our land to live a better life. Jamula says, it's a dream, but just wait until you wake up. Then you'll realize you watch too much TV and movies, novels, images by friends who live there to lure you in. but now you are in the real thing and you're waking up to the truth, then something very interesting happens, and now you see it in all its true colors. What? The other says, hi, namesake. You're not alone, my dear. We are also many feeling the same way. For me, I'm ready to go back home with the little that I have. We need to create a group and encourage each other and brainstorm ideas. You have my email. I think I sent you my email, lucymwangiusa@gmail.com. Nancy said, work and retire back home, invest back home like most of our country folk. So you come back to something at home, savings, etc. Things will get harder economically in America, at least in Kenya, it's familiar territory. You can survive. So plan ahead. If it gets too much, pack and come home, but make sure you have a good plan set up. Somebody said 9 to 5 is a complete waste of time. Yeah, but 9 to 5, it pays your bills though, right? Dorian says they don't call it a dream for nothing. Approximately 30 years ago, the American dream consisted of a house, a family, and a dog. Now, the American dream consists of being a billionaire with multi-mansions, exotic cars, a private jet, and a beautiful mate, not necessarily a wife. Good luck trying to achieve it. Really? I think we can still find some sort of a dream, American dream, or whatever version of the American dream that you have in your head. You can achieve it. Grace says, having to work 3 jobs to afford rent and 1 month of no work away from homelessness. As an immigrant, you are unable to go back and check on family regularly because tickets are expensive. That kind of life is simply not sustainable. Yeah, it's not like Kenya is like 2 hours away that you're just gonna get on the Amtrak or on a bus and go home and meet with people. And the tickets are very expensive, as you said, and then you gotta ask for time off from work and all that. Phantoms KE says, parenting is a thankless job, so you do the best you can. They'll have their opportunity to become parents if and when they choose, and they will understand later. Garfield says, the struggle is real, my sister, because I'm from Jamaica, living in America. There's no American dream for real. Packing up to go back home. She lives in Florida, and she's packing up to go home. Igla said, take it easy, Lucy. It's not easy as a single parent. Try your best and leave the rest to God. Keep talking and keep listening too. Take a deep breath and exhale. Exhale. Don't allow depression to kick in. Depression is a spirit that when it comes in, it's hard to let out. Guard your heart and mind. As you seek professional help, consider also spiritual help. Thank you. Thank you. Patrick says, Kenyan economy is an 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and less flexible hours if one is self-employed, unlike the busy US 24-hour economy. This makes parenting easy in Kenya. Kenya has a health and a social system that can cater for the less privileged. middle class, and the rich, unlike in the US, where all services are standardized irrespective of your pocket. In Kenya, we commonly call it kidogo economy, pole sana. The way Kenya economy is structured is good for everyone, unlike developed countries. Please come back home, stop stressing yourself. It's okay to start all over again. Thank you. Kamal says the average job cannot even pay for a 2-bedroom rent. Yeah, it's the paycheck, man. It's like shrinking. The paycheck is shrinking. Mosimba says there is no American or European or African education, but give your kids good values and have time for them to help them every step in their life to make them valuable and independent. The issue of the Western world is time. In the West, you sell your time, which is your life, for money so that you can be able to support your family. But at the end, the kids get educated by the system and environment instead of parent values and experience that kids can benefit from. So time is the most valuable thing in our life. Thank you. Thank you. Musumori says, you're speaking the damn truth, my sister. I always think about that too. So you guys today, if you're just joining in, thank you for joining the live. Today, I'm just going over the comments from the American Dream video that I did. I had a lot of comments and I didn't know a way of like thanking the people who participated in that conversation and also to share the comments because some of them are like very valuable and it's like a teachable moment for other people who don't have like a real idea of exactly what is going on in the diaspora for us Africans. Giselle says, you should plan to go back home several times a year if the children or the child are in their 20s. Live for you and accept that's not selfishness. In Africa, children are culturally influenced by their environment, mainly the community helping out, uncles, aunties, relatives, and strangers. Here in America, is to each their own. Social media influence takes hold and makes children feel less than adequate because they can't live up to fake life. So kids are watching all these videos and all this Instagram, TikTok, and all that, and they're following these mentors or idols, and we are fighting with that. We as parents, we have the values that we want to instill, and then the children are watching whatever the children are watching. Yeah, most people saying just plan to invest in Africa and then go back to Africa. Script says, Sasa, I'm also from 254 and I'm in complete agreement. Life in Stato is constantly chasing a dream, but the goalposts keep getting moved. I'm in Massachusetts. Kama uko hii area nigote and we can talk about this. Miniko East Coast. Miniko East Coast, but my email is lucymwangiusa@gmail.com. So hit me up. Kuna mtu anasema mimi naenda next month back to Kenya kupambana na Ruto. I will live under the budget. Staki familia ambaye wanakuja kuomba pesa juu I will be living in Kenya for those few years that I can just raise my kids and then be there for them. Anyone out there that know anything that we can do and to generate income while living abroad, please share. Yeah, let us know about online jobs that people can do when they live. Wakitoka hapa waende When people leave and go back to Kenya, what jobs are you guys doing? What online jobs are you guys doing? There's a comment from somebody in Australia, and they say, I live with my 2 teenage boys here in Australia, and it's really hard. I took them from their mother in Kenya, but I feel like giving them back to her. She's very toxic and always inciting them. I never rest at all. I go to work, I come home to cook, take the older one to teach him how to drive them to play soccer. I feel like I'm about to break. So that's a single parent frustration. And there's somebody in the comment section under that comment, and they said, how about teaching the older one to cook so that you can rest on the cooking? So sorry for what you're going through. Yeah, maybe that can help. But goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot. So Richard says, live within your means, eat ugali and beans and sukuma wiki. Live like our brothers from South America, like 6 people in an apartment. Save up your money, including your pennies. Send your money and buy land in Kenya. Watch and improve your credit. Live in the US for 30 years. He's lived in the US for 30 years, now a Canadian citizen. Okay. So advice for people who are trying to find ways of, living here and managing to live here, but also have plans of going back to their home country. Martin says, raising kids here in America is very different and difficult. First thing is that we are trying to raise our kids in a very different culture in the way we were raised. We weren't raised to talk back to our parents. My advice to you is just introduce your kids to God when they are young and pray for wisdom. Maze, when we were growing up, you would never talk back to your parents. That is a death sentence. That is like calling a death sentence on yourself. All right. Somebody says, Margaret says, American dream is what you set for yourself. Don't chase the myth of a picket fence at home and 2 kids and a dog in a suburban hood with a spouse, disposable income, and a luxury life punctuated with trips on exotic vacations. This may be other people's American dream. Another person's American dream may be having skills and securing a stable income and living within affordable means in an apartment, single, eating healthy, and in good terms with family and friends. The American dream can change from age range to the next, from singles to married people, or from being single to being married with or without children, or even being single without children to being a single parent. Sometimes the American dream can be real from being married to being divorced. It's a matter of personal values, realistic and achievable personal goals as an individual. American dream is not a one-size-fits-all, so no need to chase the wind called the American dream. After all, who defined the American dream and who determines who achieved and who didn't achieve the American dream is personal, not even Americans, for everyone. Not just for Americans, but for everyone, and definitely not for the African immigrant, he's just saying. So, yeah, so I guess it's what you make. The American dream is what you make out for yourself. Somebody said, how about getting a remote online job for a US company that you can do while still in Kenya and you'll talk uko? Any idea? My idea though, be strong. Yeah, that's what somebody was asking. Like if anybody has any ideas of online jobs that people can do that they should share. that they should share. Gingerbread. Gingerbread man says, babe, you've said ukweli. Hata mimi, I'm tired. I'm going back. What? Unaenda lini? When are you going? Hulova anasema inaitwa American Dream juu lazima ukuwe umelala ndio uione. Sikucheki, najua najua kile unapitia vizuri. Thank you. Sometimes we just have to find humor in our struggles because we won't cry every day, all day, every day. John Duty TV anasema hii dream tunaionaga kama tumelala. Bro, I'm telling you. Myself and Joe, we talk back and forth. He's in Virginia. And we talk back and forth and we try to, he's new in America, like 3 or 4 years now, almost 4 years. So I share my experiences with him and then he shares his experiences with me about how life is, how he's seeing life as it's unfolding in front of his eyes. And me, I'm looking at him like, oh my God, looking back, like many years back, I was him at that point. But then the opportunities now, I think, are bigger, they are wider, the exposure to social media and the information, and it's just a different, it's a different life. But now we are wiser. We know the do's and the don'ts. And when we talk about what can we do better for ourselves, what changes can we make? How do we approach this US? How do we make it to our benefit? And it's interesting to see how life shapes up in Joe's eyes. Like when I look at his life and on what he's trying to do, I'm like, it's actually impressive. And I know he's going through his own struggles, but it's impressive how the generations are different. That we guys are so, when I look back, I'm like, we're so timid. We know we need to do something, but we don't do it. But this other generation is like, I know what I need to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the risk. Liwalo na liwe, I'll suffer the consequences later. Wanasemanga kesi baadaye. So, John Duty TV, thank you for your comment. Somebody said, do you mean easier or easy? America gives you more opportunities to thrive. Your mindset of things being easy likely held you back. Opportunities are there, but they require hard work. Yes, we are working hard. We are working hard. We are not just sitting around. We are working hard. Samantha says, nice to meet you, Lucy. It's a coincidence you're Kenyan because I always wanted to move to Kenya. I'm watching you from the Caribbean. Some of those symptoms too could be premenopause, which I have gone through. Peace and blessings. I get it, but I don't get it because that cannot be premenopause. That was just, it was a lot. It was a lot. And Komuli says, you sound extremely exhausted, but don't give up. Never ever think of coming back to this country. Things are unbearable here. Please press on, dear. Kenya ni kubaya. Muli anasema, I shouldn't even think about going back. Good anasema, everything has changed worldwide. If your motherland is much better, you can always come back. What keeps you in the US if there is no dream? There are many reasons. There are many things that keep us here. And I think I had done a video about that, or I'm about to do a video about that. Maybe I already did it. The reasons why we can't go back home, or we won't go back home, or because we have family here, we have foundations. Like if people have stayed here for 20 years, and for example, if you came in and you are single, then you got married and now you have kids and now the kids have kids, man. So you have your foundation here. So you can't just up and leave. You can make a plan to leave, but you can't just up and leave, right? Somebody said, don't worry, that's normal with kids all over the world, but they thank you later. When they start paying bills, if they're teenagers, learn their language. If they tell you to chill, be telling them to chill also. Make a point to treat yourself. Go to a spa. Go eat your favorite food. Start spoiling yourself. I was there. I get you very well. Thank you. Thank you for that. Romeo Oscar says, the US dream is nothing but a dream. When you wake up, you realize it was a dream. Be intentional and don't chase a dream. Okay. Ernest says, nothing called the American dream. The States have lots of opportunity. You are the dream. First, change your mindset. I know lots of opportunity, but people are not ready. Trust me. Okay. Kenny says, one paycheck away. It's always been this way in the States. You live everything now, and you cannot live it because you're earning it every day. You can't stop to spend it because you're a paycheck away from poverty, and it never changes. You don't have savings because you can't save unless you are in a very high paying corporate job. And even then, you have to have strict vision on saving if you have a dream to return home, which is worse because you never return home. And when you do with money, 20 years later, the country is too different. You're too different. And you wonder what life is all about. In the US, what is life all about? And then when you do have the money, there is no one there you are interacting with. With kids, they are now American. If anything, the best you can do is prepare them to be good Americans. They have to grow to value America, the real America. Keep your head up, keep moving. Try to get something for yourself. Trying to get something for yourself is no longer the issue. Give to your kids, and one day, come back home. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for your comments. Somebody else says, learn how to trade stocks on the stock market. You can start small and grow exponentially. Jobs are not enough for survival these days. The work environment can be tough and stressful. You can make it. God is faithful. Okay, somebody says learn how to trade stocks. So you can invest in what? Stock trading, daily trading, or just long-term investments that you just buy like index funds or what? What are you talking about? Educate us. Teach the people what you know. Masharia says, it's a rat race indeed, and every day feels like stepping on a treadmill. I jokingly say it every morning. It's that time again for rinse and repeat. Guys, do we feel like we're just complaining about the US? Is that what it feels like to you guys, especially the ones in Kenya? I hope it doesn't come out like we are just complaining. We appreciate being here. We do. We appreciate being in the US, the land of opportunity. But like we said, each life has its own struggles. And the fact that we are in the US does not negate the fact like life is still has its own challenges. So we are not immune to the struggles of life. That's all we are saying. And so when we talk about it, I don't want you guys to feel like we're just complaining and whining about how America is bad. America is not bad. America is not bad. You can make your dreams come true here. So we're not bashing America. We're just frustrated because sometimes things don't work out no matter how much you try. And this could be the case even if you're in Europe or if you're in Africa or if you're in whatever country that you're in. So this is not a video to bash America. It's just that I happen to be in the US and that's what I know about. I came here when I was single child. I didn't have a child. So my life, like my family life, started here. Got married, had the kid, went back to school, took the kid through school, worked different jobs here. So that's the life I'm talking about. What I'm saying is there was a time that life was kind of smooth. And I'm not sure what happened over the past few years, that things have really changed. And it could be that the economy has changed, the political temperature has changed, or I have changed. Maybe my spending habits have changed. My kid has changed. Maybe she has grown up now. She has her own values, her own opinions, and all that. So it's a lot of factors that are coming together. So this is not a video to bash America. I would never do that, because I live here and I am grateful for all the opportunities that I have. All right. So let's see. This video is going too long. You guys think this video is going too long? We can stop it anytime. The dream is you. 2025 is a year of second chances. Walk only with those that believe in you. That's Kezia Philip. Osborne says, I always encourage anyone relocating to the USA to read Howard Zinn book, A People's History of the United States, 1492 to present. Thank me later. Okay. That's how we'll look for that one. Somebody says, that's why I don't see myself retiring in America. I'm working on relocating back to Ghana to start businesses so I can move back permanently. If you don't own your job in America, you can be easily gotten rid of by your employer and leave you screwed. America has a robust social system which helps the poor. However, I'd rather start my own thriving business in Ghana. There's peace and freedom in Kenya, in Ghana, in Africa. Okay. All right. Thank you. I wish you all the best in your plans and keep us posted. See how you're making the transition. This is Kozo says, it's called the American dream because you gotta be asleep to believe it. Oh, here's the comment. Guys, I found that comment about the guy that was yelling at me for being single. He said, where's your spouse? Not blaming anyone for anything, but African women think when they come here, they are free and they can send their husband packing, believing life will be rosy and they can live free and enjoy their lives. Ladies, learn. Your kids will blame you more, probably beat up some mothers. You are only robbing your kids of their best lives they could have if their dad was around. That is the lens by which I'm looking at this time. What? So this person is yelling at me on the comment section for being single. So according to him, he thinks that I had a husband and I had a Kenyan husband and I sent the husband back to Kenya or something. I don't know, some weird stuff. But no, my husband died. He passed away in 2018. So, and I haven't remarried, just so you know. That's why I'm single. So for clarification. There are so many African Americans that left me messages. So I appreciate that for giving us insights and participating in this conversation. Cherona says, imagine my dream is one day to be in America. I think there is a lot of money there. I'm disappointed. I thought there was a lot of money there. Please come back home. Let me think about something else, or I can find a visa for other countries. Please come and invest back home. So Cherono, we are not discouraging you from coming to the US. We're just giving you like eye-opening things so that when you come to the US, you don't think that it's something that is not. So you're well prepared. It's like a warning, you know, like ukikuja hapa, this is what the expectation is. It is. So you're not coming here with false expectations. You gotta put in the work and you gotta make some sacrifices. So somebody said it all depends on how old you are when you come to the US, your level of education too. Come younger and married and childless, you'll increase your chances to reach the American dream. I drove a tractor trailer when I newly arrived in this country, going to grad school at the same time on a evening graduate program. I got my master's degree debt-free, paying my own way through, and now got a good 9 to 5 job, well-paying job. Being home every weekend, which gives me leverage to have tight oversight on my kids' upbringing. What this lady doesn't mention is her lack of higher education degree, which makes her navigate within those back-breaking bullshit jobs. Please stop spreading falsehood about America. Be smart and strategical. What? So, congratulations on your achievements as far as education and also in life. But I don't think it's fair for you to just assume that because somebody is struggling financially or because somebody came here and talked about their struggle, that they're not learned or they're not educated. And I don't think it's fair for people to gauge people by their level of education. You know what I mean? There's more to life than being educated. And I'm not minimizing your achievements in your education. Congratulations on those. But so you're saying it's because I don't have high education, that's why I'm struggling. So that's what I'm getting from your comment. So everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but wow, okay. American dream is dead a long time ago. Somebody says that. Somebody's asking if I've seen the film Rat Race. Have you guys seen it? So let me go on the comment section. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody who participated in the conversation about the American dream and where is it and how do we achieve it and how long are we going to take before we achieve the American dream? And there are so many questions about where is my husband? And I just said what happened to my husband. So thank you guys for that. So quickly, let me go over the comments. I think there was a very angry person here. I don't think I'm going to read that comment. So hello, Abu Bakr says, hello, Madam Lucy, I'm watching you right now from Banjul, the Gambia. Thank you for watching and always supporting my channel. Lullaby and Sleepy Tunes videos by Steve O. Good to see you back in live session. Good to be back. Thank you guys for watching from Bahati, Nakuru. I hope everything is okay with you guys. The new year is coming, so I wish you God's grace and blessings for the year 2025. Amidu Kamara, how are you doing? Great to see you live. I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing good, doing very well, thank you. Hanging in there. Picky Wolf says, in third world countries, you have been brainwashed that West is better no matter what. Then you hit the wall once there. That's the issue. Yeah, you're kind of right. Ann Nyambura, hugs. Thank you. Thank you, Anne. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much. Junita Wanjiko says, I was robbed my mom when I was 11 years old. I have known all pain and struggle. I have a son now raising alone in Kenya. I don't know if my case is both frying pan to hot fire. Where? I know the struggle. Life is difficult. I was told to always remember no one promised an easy life, even God. That's true. That's true. And we live one day at a time. I live by gratitude. I wake up every morning and I thank God for everything I have, as opposed to regretting and wishing for things that I don't have. Duda Jaya says, hello. Hi there. Hi, John Minor. How are you? Good to see you. Kilo says, when you come back, please give me your visa so that I can help my... You want my visa? What? Grace Kamau. Hi, Grace. Hello, Grace. None of your business. Okay, none of ya. I just finished that for myself. I'm in Minnesota and in the same boat, struggling as a mother of four. Hold a master's degree and left my job to be a full-time mom. What? Because daycare is expensive, right? Or you want to be close to your kids so you can raise your kids. Jeez. I started investing and learning about stocks. There is potential in trading stocks if one masters the way of the markets. I'm exhausted with the daily hustle and nuzzle of parenting. Yeah, that for 4 children, that's exhausting. Mind you, we are a 2-parent household, so oh, you meant children, yeah. I figured that. But even for a 2-parent household, it's still a lot. Lawrence Gashon says, for online jobs, especially IT, ingia Turin kama unajiamini. Turin. Okay. Wangoi Kariuki say, I've lived in the US for 28 years and came here in my early 20s. It has not been easy, but I'm always grateful for the opportunities this country has given me. Me too, Wangoi. Me too. Me too. So about investments, Nanoya says, short and long-term investing. One can invest in ETFs or single stocks like Tesla, NVIDIA, industries like AI and electric vehicles. There are different types of investing or trading. Okay. Then she said option trading, day trading, swing trading, short, long-term trading. You just have to study and find your niche, but there's a lot of money. Okay. Okay. Big Picky Wolf says US is a big slavery machine who will crush anyone who is not coming from a wealthy family, period. Nanoya says, I'm a beginner and still learning, but it's something you can do if you put in the time. Yeah, I believe with every skill, every new skill that you want to learn, if you put in the time and the effort, you can make it. Even that, trading stocks. Vince, you're right. The US is great, but to me, it was just a stepping stone. Came there in 2017 on a work visa and left this year. US made me great again. Okay, that's cool. What are you doing now? Fred Gibbs says, America is horrible, but you can still utilize it in a smart way, not the hard way. Work smarter, not harder. Yes, I've heard that before. Excuse me. So Millie says, and what does education do for them, meaning the children? More money and to be discriminated against? I too have high education and cannot wait to return to Africa. There is no American dream. This topic of schools and Africans and children, African kids in American schools, this is a whole topic. This is a whole topic that we're going to talk about one of these days. Montrez Montgomery says, hello, Lucy. When you first came to America from Kenya, did you come here on a student visa? No, I came through my job. Yes, daycare is very, very expensive. Yes, it is. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. It is expensive. Wangoi says, your host, when you arrive here, can shape your life for years to come. If your host is a banker, they will guide you differently than someone that is in the medical field. The US is not easy to navigate. Yes, so a lot of people, when they come in, they follow the lead from the host because maybe that's the only person you know sometimes. That's the only person that you know. In the US, like me, for example, when I first came, I only knew one person. And I went to that person's house. I lived there for a while. So yes, you're right. Fred Gibbs, unaniambia nini? Lucy, try your best to become a landlord in multiple investment properties. Once you're gaining good cash flow, please go back to Kenya and eat some ugali. Aki, by the way, I eat ugali here, lakini hata unga ya hapa is not the same. The flour doesn't even taste. The ugali does not taste like the ugali. You know, ile ugali at home doesn't taste the same. Montrez Montgomery, you say, wow, you talk like an American with a Kenyan accent. Guy, maybe. What? It's because I've lived here for a long time, maybe. When I first came to the US, I wasn't understanding what they were saying. Like, it would take me a while to process the things that they were saying. So I would look at somebody's lips and then I would listen to what they're saying. I would translate that into the Kenyan English. So it would take me a while. And sometimes I would actually translate it into like Kikuyu or Kiswahili. I'm like, what are they saying? Wanasema nini? And then half the time, because of the accent, especially the Black American accent, it's different. So their tongue is lighter than our tongue. Our tongue is heavy. And how they pronounce certain things is different. So me, I'm there struggling, wondering what they're saying. And I think I've talked about the money part. When I go to the store and they would say, this is like whatever cents, 75 cents. And I have the money, but I don't know which coin is which. So I would take all the coins in my purse and give the person, and I would let them just choose whatever equates to, whatever amount equates to 75 cents. Where did you kulie? Because me, I don't know. Sijui, I don't know it. I don't know what 75 cents is. I don't know what a penny is, a dime, whatever. Sikuwa najua. So it takes time. It takes time. So the live today was to appreciate everybody who reached out to me in my video about the American dream, and to check on me to see if I'm mentally okay. I think at this time I'm okay. I'm okay. I was not okay at that time. So for me to even get to that point of recording that video and posting it, that was one of my last resorts, because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And it was just accumulated struggles and frustrations over the past even year or years. And it gets to a point where hujui fanya nini, you don't know what to do. So I appreciate this new community that I'm forming on my YouTube channel. I hope that we will keep connected. I hope that we will keep talking to each other, especially the ones in the diaspora, because I know back home people think that we are what we are not. People think that we have all this money, and that could be true, but we also have a lot of responsibilities, and the bills here are very high, and we are also trying to survive. The same way that you guys are trying to survive at home is the same way that we're trying. It's just the opportunities here are a little bit better and a little bit different. So I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching my videos. Keep supporting my channel. Subscribe if you haven't. And if there's anything that you want to share with me and you don't want it to be on the comment section, and I can do a different video about whatever it is that you want me to talk about, just send me a message on my email. It's lucymwangiusa@gmail.com. If you don't have any other comments, let me just scroll down here and see if there's any other comments. So I don't see any other comments for right now. So thank you guys. It's been an hour and 45 minutes of your time. I appreciate it. Have a beautiful Sunday, and we'll keep talking on this platform. Thank you, guys. Have a great Sunday.